All right, welcome to the channel. I'm Mike, and today we're going to be looking at the 2024 state of my collection. Today I'll be walking through 30 of my watches. I didn't bring all of them, but would like to at least share where I'm at in my collection, and then we'll hear some feedback or gain some feedback from you all in the comments below. But
attention watch fam, we're giving away this Seiko XKX011 to one lucky winner. To enter, just click the link in the description below. There are various ways to earn multiple tickets, but watching this entire video will give you the biggest boost. We'll be flashing a 6-digit code, 1 digit at a time, throughout this video. We'll also be embedding a code in 2 other State of the Watch collection videos, so look for those to increase your chances to win. The giveaway lasts 2 months, but if any of these videos hit 150,000 views, we'll kick off an even bigger giveaway. Good luck. Now, let's return to the video.
to kick us off, I've got my first, I'm going to be doing them in sections. My first section here, which is Rolex. And so the first watch that I'll be sharing with you all is the Rolex Submariner Hulk. And this piece is really special to me. I got it during COVID. It's my favorite dial color. I'm really big on green, and it would say a watch that I feel like is unique in the Submariner line. You just don't see a lot of the green dial Submariners out there, and so a piece that will definitely remain in my collection as I continue to develop a more mature collection of watches. The next watch that I'll go through is one that I was after for a while. Surprisingly got a call on it this year, and is a Rolex GMT Batman. And it's a piece that I actually got it on as a actual Batman, bought the Jubilee aftermarket. Again, another piece that I really like that will remain in the collection. Probably one of my go-to watches that I wear each and every day. And really enjoy this piece. The next is my Rolex Datejust Mint Dial. Now this one I like. I'll say that it's up for grabs on if it stays in the collection. Would love to hear from you all on your thoughts of it. Very unique dial. It's still a sought after piece. One that I also got a call from my AD on this year. Doesn't get as much wrist time. I'd say more of the if I'm going to a meeting or something like that needs to be a little more dressy than a sports watch. This one goes on the wrist. Again, falls into that green dial selection that I love. And you can pick up all different kinds of hues from the dials, grays to blues to greens. So very unique. Again though, one that I may sell down the road to buy a piece to round out the collection. Because as you'll see, I'm loaded with sports watches, so I need to definitely start getting a more curated collection. And then last but not least, I would say would probably be tied with my Hulk as one of my favorite pieces in my collection. Less about the aesthetic side of it, more about the sentimental side, which is my Yachtmaster Platinum. I got this watch when I got a promotion at my job, and it was my first, I'd say, big boy watch. But prior to that, I only had like some low-end Heuers. And I love this piece. I'm currently rocking it on a rubber bead strap, and I actually love it this way. It looks really good in my opinion. And so a watch that will never leave my collection. I don't care what the value ends up being. It's a sentimental piece that I'll continue to hold as a pillar in my collection. So, sticking kind of with Rolex, we'll jump to the Tudors in my collection. And so the first one is the Chrono Panda. I like it. I would say that this is a placeholder for a Daytona Panda. That I'd love to eventually replace it with. And so this one may or may not stay in the collection. I did recently church it up a little bit and drop a Tudor Jubilee on it. And so it's a watch that I've had fun with. I will say that it's something that has pacified the desire for a Daytona, and heck, I may find something that I like better than that, but until then, it will hang out in the collection. The next one, this is a piece that will remain in the collection as of today. It's a Tudor Harrods, and I'll say that this one's unique for the United States. Now, I'm not in Europe, not sure how many are on the wrist or quote unquote in the raw there. You do not see a lot. In fact, I've yet to see one in the US on anybody's wrist. I know they're here, so I'm not saying I'm elite with that, but you do see a lot of these models rolling out there. I love the colorway of this green going against the black and how it contrasts. I picked this one up prior to COVID, and I got a really good deal on it from Robin Henry Watches, a buddy that's on IG that sells watches, and definitely one that I'll hang on to. Now we're hitting up the Brightlings in the collection, and so the first Breitling that we have here is a Norton, and I will say this competes against some of my favorite watches in the collection. It's done so well. It was a piece that my wife gave me early in our relationship, and I will not sell this watch. I think that Breitling did an amazing job with the colors, the layout of the dial design, and how they really incorporated a little bit of everything. And the strap is like probably the best strap that could go on this watch. Even though it's a little bit chunky, it still sits well on the wrist, and something definitely that I will not be letting go of. Next up, another gift from the wife. It was a 40th birthday gift, and it's a Breitling Super Ocean Rose and Black. I do like this watch a lot. It does not get a ton of wrist time. Something that maybe I need to swap up the strap. I mean, it came on the metal mesh, and so I got the black rubber. The only thing that I have a problem with, and this may be something that you all can comment on, is how chunky the clasp is in the back. It may be just by design, but it feels a little too big for me. If I can, move it to get a better rose gold piece. This is the only piece I'd say that has the majority of rose in it that I own. All right, this next piece was the flame that was rekindled that I had for Tag when I first got off into watches. I owned 3 Carreras and then sold them all, and I wasn't a huge fan for a while, and Tag has recently jumped back into my heart and has been pulling those strings. And so I wanted to get a hold of the Hodinkee edition of the Skipper until Tag came out with this one, and it, I tell you, is a banger that will stay in my collection. It's the glass box version. It is absolutely gorgeous in person, and a piece that I acquired this year from, again, my same AD that has Rolex called me on this one. As of recently, I've been looking at some vintage pieces as well, and so, like I said before, it rekindled that flame. All right, we're back at it with the Orus that I have. I did have 4 Orus watches. I'm a big fan of what Orus stands for, how they give back to the ocean in a lot of their pieces. I own the Upcycle. This is one that was, again, a gift, and I've got a great wife. She gifts a lot of watches to me, so pulled it off the brown that it came with. I believe I got this Christmas of 2019, and threw on this deep blue that matches the dial Heuer, and it's got a patinaed bronze bezel that just looks great. It's a piece that doesn't get enough wrist time, to be honest with you. It's something I should wear. Now I'm sitting here looking at it. I really need to drop this on the wrist more. But when you start getting up in a collection with 30 plus watches, you're gonna have that same problem with most of your watches. The next up, not identical twins, just twins. We've got the Mito Ocean Star, and I absolutely love these watches. I acquired them as they came out, and over the last 5 years, I think one came out, and then it was a year, the next year, this blue colorway came out. These will stay in the collection they're a really fun piece that I'd catch myself wearing to the beach, just wearing around. I get a lot of compliments on them, comments in general. They really have a great feel of that throwback 50s style, early 60s style watch, diver watches. And so it's a true tribute to what they had out in the 50s, 60s, piece that I really love in the collection. I'll hang on to both of them. All right, here we have 3 in my collection that I'd say really got the heat turned up. A brand that I love a lot, Zen, and I have 2 that are fairly identical. They're not the same exact watch, same internals and everything. So we have this blue with a forced patina markers. Really love this watch. It was a limited run, and it's a piece that will stay in my collection. It's, again, you always look at, is it worth the time and effort to sell it? The next one over here is same watch. It came out a few years later in green. And this one my wife bought me again, and I'm realizing how many watches she's bought me, so I may just be a good guilt driver and I need this watch, and she falls victim to me. I'm in part like, which one do I keep? Would be something that I'd love to hear your comments. Are you big on the blue? Are you big on the green? I would probably let this one go before I let that one go. This is more of a limited run. And then last but not least, again, another watch my wife bought me for one of my birthdays. On rubber. I do get a lot of wrist time with this one because it's just, for some reason, this rubber strap feels like absolute silk and butter on the wrist. And I love the contrast of the white dial and the black bezel. And it wears really well as a good casual watch. And so if you're out there looking for, a good watch that's sub 2K, sub $2,500, this is a great place to start. Zen makes a hell of a watch that could definitely be a good player with any collection. So we're getting over to the left box now, and they're more of novelties and fun watches that I've picked up over the years. And so this first set here are Zodiac, and at one point I had 4 or 5 Zodiacs, and I had to get real with myself and narrow it down. I had a green dial Zodiac that I believe was a very limited run. I believe they only made 100 or something like that. And so the 2 that I kept, the first one would be the worn and wound edition, and they did an absolute killer job. Watch that will never leave my collection, just because it's so funky and rad. That's the word that comes to mind when I look at this. The wild colors on it, they've done a great job at just mixing it up and making it funky and fun. So a piece that sold out pretty much instantly, and this is a hunt watch. I found it, again, another one that I found where somebody bought it and didn't wear it, and they tried to flip it and make some coin on it and ended up losing a little bit of coin. So I felt like I scored and was excited to pick it up. The other one, this is a piece that I feel really guilty now. Guess who bought it for me? My wife. And it's just a good looking watch. I think at some point when you start owning a ton of watches, you have to digest, like, how much time am I going to spend listing this watch, and then what am I going to gain from it? And so it's one that when I went through all the Zodiacs, that I was just like, I'll just hang on to it. If I get bored one day and I want to list some watches, it may fall in that category, but for now, it'll stick around. All right, similar to the Zodiacs and the Zens, about the same time frame in my watch collection, just absolutely vaporizing my monthly income on boutique watches. Squally came about. My brother-in-law called me and was talking about a cool watch brand that he fell in love with, and they offered a great value watch, and they got a lot of deep history behind them. And these are 2 that stayed in the collection. I ended up having 6 total Squallies, which is ridiculous. But that's what I do, is I go overboard and I'm ridiculous. I got in this bronze loving watch phase where, man, if it wasn't bronze, then I hated it. This is one that stuck around. It's unique. It's got like a gray dial that it morphs a little bit, and it's a bronze watch, and I like it. It'll hang out in the collection. I think it's one that I'll continue to keep around. Will I ever wear it? I don't know, but who cares?
Limited to 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, it was limited to, thank you, Jason.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Limited to 1,000 pieces. The other GMT, I actually love this watch. I'll tell you, it's one that will definitely hang out in the collection. I think it just works well. The colors look great on it. It was the first GMT I ever owned, and a piece that I still wear today. I actually enjoy this watch a lot. Now we're going to jump into some Seikos, a little different. One is a custom piece. The other is one of the lost twins. I had two of them, but the one on the right is a Seiko that I had custom built, and I love it. It feels very vintage. It's got like that fat, tire kind of blunt pond bezel. It's like cookies and cream. It's like brown and yellowish. And so I like this watch a lot. It was fun to to put together. There was a cool little Then we moved to the left, Alpinist. Right? I always say that wrong. Alpinist?
Alpinist.
You just got penis on your mind, Felix.
You just straight up say
Alpinix.
Alpinist, like you said.
Alpinist.
Penis. Yeah, I would say
No,
alpinist.
Felix is obsessed with penises, so he calls it an alpinist. Alpinist. There we go. It's in the collection. It's not a dick. We got the Alpinist on this green suede strap. Looks great on it, and I love the ivory dial with the gold. So both will stay in the collection. All right, the next twins that we're showing here are from my buddy Andrew, Walden Watches, and so super great guy. They do a lot of advertising and has a lot of history behind their watch company. I believe he acquired it from his father, and I really like this watch. It's a quartz watch, and you talk about value with good looks, right? So you always compromise somewhere, and I feel like you can catch this watch, especially they normally run sales at a really good deal, and it's got a lot of character for a classic look on it. So when you take a look at this watch, the case is really nice on it. It wears somewhat thin, which I like, and then it steps up. It's got a step up on the case, and so really nice design. So much so that I grabbed the green and the white version of it, and it's a fun watch. Again, I think when you're looking at, can I grab a watch in a budget of sub $500, sub $300? This is definitely one that stands out, that looks classic and timeless, and a very nice piece for the money. So, man, I'll tell you, if you didn't love cartoons growing up, Pai was one that is a must, right? So when Undone came out with this piece, I had to grab it. I think I've wore it twice. It's patinaed like I've wore it a ton. You can see the buckle is still virtually brand new. Fun piece that reminds me of my childhood, of watching cartoons and just like totally just vegging out on the couch all day Saturday and eating every piece of food that my mom went and struggled to buy from the grocery stores. Not a Dragon Ball Z, but hey, Pai still crushes it. All right, next watch screams retro, right? So retro vibes all the way. Brew Watch Company made this watch, and it's a absolute banger. The job they did on this watch, I think it's incredible. We were talking about it earlier today, that if you're gonna have a micro brand boutique watch company that sits in that sub $1,000 range, right? The most of your watches are under $1,000. You need to be special. There are so many companies out there that are putting watches out and it's just another watch. You look at it, oh yeah, okay, cool. Brew does an amazing job with bringing out some unique pieces, and this one really caters to my style. It's got a salmon dial. The bracelet's really pretty, and it just is an amazing watch. It's my only squared watch that I have, and I really enjoy this piece. So the next two we've got, I dare not say that this thing here on the right is Omega, right? It's got the name on it, and I don't want to roast Omega or Swatch for this, but I feel like it was definitely a very much so overhyped piece. I didn't pay a dime of a retail for it. It's nice, I'll say, in the sense of if you want a novelty, but it's definitely a cheap piece, it can gladly be sold. So if you are interested in that watch, you can comment below and I may sell it to you. The next one holds more value in my collection than that one. Is just this really rad jellyfish that throws me back straight to the 80s when I had a crazy clear phone sitting on my floor from Spencer's Gifts that the only reason I got it is because it lit up and I didn't want to wake my mom up at night when you fall asleep listening to somebody breathe on the phone. It reminds me of all that, and it reminds me of BMX bikes and that whole era. You know, hindsight, should have grabbed a smaller one because it would have fit the era better. But super cool watch, and it's fun. So something that I'll hang on to. All right, these triplets here, total collection, it's gonna knock your socks off, sub 50 bucks from Amazon. And so the Casio World Time, I actually like this watch a lot. It's definitely 100% not worth selling, but they're fun. It's something you can wear that have that kind of throwback Casio vibes to it, and they're fun. So got the stainless whatever version. I know it's not steel, it's probably aluminum. I do wear this one from time to time. It's kind of like a bronze painted color, and the black one I definitely wear. So three that I could really, I don't care about, but they sit in the box, and again, they're just novelties that hang around. That wraps us up today with the state of my 2024 collection. I had a bunch of other watches that didn't really fit in, and for the sake of time, just really want to cover these two. Maybe next time I do it, I'll run through each one, but let me know your thoughts. What watches would you hang on to? Which watches should I get rid of? Which watches do you hate? Which watches do you love? And tell me your thoughts on the comments below, and appreciate your time and watching and supporting the channel.